got up to take a leak in the middle of the night, and something bit me out of the dark. I grabbed my axe, ready to chop whatever it was to pieces, but then I saw it, a white fox wrapped tight in a python's coils. And it looked right at me and spoke, in plain human words, "Save me, and I'll give myself to you." The fox looked so pitiful I swung the axe and took out that snake. But even after being saved, the little fox was barely hanging on. I rushed it home and cleaned its wounds with liquor. Not long after, the little thing was already running and jumping around. From that point on, the fox just stayed, like a stray dog that flat out refuses to leave. But I was just an orphan, barely scraping by on my own as it was. I tried chasing it off into the woods more than once, but every single night it came right back, carrying wild fruit, rabbits, or chickens in its mouth. That's when it hit me. It was showing me it could pull its own weight. So I finally let it stay, and just like that, it became my constant companion. I chopped wood, it followed. I herded sheep, it followed. Even when I did homework, it'd sit right beside me, quiet as could be. But all of that came to a sudden stop my senior year of high school. The fox was just gone. I waited until dark. No fox. But then an old woman showed up at my door. She had a cane, sweet smile, looked completely harmless. "Young man, I'm looking for my granddaughter. You seen her?" My gut dropped. Nobody from outside the village had come around lately. Which granddaughter would that be? She cleared her throat, eyes locked on me. I left a few years back. Left my granddaughter to watch the house. But when I got back, she was gone. Someone told me she's been living with you. I was totally confused. There was nobody at my place but me. "Ma'am, I think there's been some kind of mistake." She just went, "Oh?" nodding slowly. But her eyes were locked dead on my kitchen. I followed her gaze and turned around, and there was the fox, sitting right there. Tail wagging, looking at the old woman like it was smiling at her. And this was literally the first time it had ever shown itself to anyone else. The old woman smiled for a moment, then turned and walked away without a single word. That night, the fox curled up on my stomach like usual and fell asleep.
But when I woke up the next morning, it was gone.
I got out of bed and found a red belly pouch sitting on the table. Inside was a lock of long black women's hair, wrapped in a ring of red paper. I had no idea what any of it meant, so I took it straight to the village chief. The moment he saw it, he burst out laughing. "Well, well, well. Looks like some girl's got a serious crush on you. Take this to her family and you can propose. Come on, tell me, which girl sent this?" I was completely lost. Did the fox bring this for me? But what I never could have expected. From that day on, the fox never came back. Ever. It was gone and I felt hollow inside. Every day, all I did was eat, sleep, and search the whole mountain for it. Nothing, not a single trace. I even started wondering if a hunter had gotten to it. 2 weeks of searching and still nothing. I'd pretty much given up. Figured I'd never see it again. Then about 2 weeks later, I came home one night to find an old woman crouched at my gate, crying. I walked over and asked what was going on. She snapped her head up and spoke in this cold, creepy voice. "I'm looking for my grandson. My grandson is missing. You've seen him, haven't you?" A chill ran through me. Last time it was her granddaughter, now it's her grandson. Why does everyone keep coming to me? I shook my head. No, but she just smiled. This twisted little grin. Haven't seen him? What about 6 years ago? Did you see my grandson 6 years ago? It felt less like a question and more like an accusation. I tilted my head and thought hard. "Ma'am, you've got the wrong person. I've never seen your grandson. You should go." The moment I said that, she stopped talking, just stared at me and smiled. That smile was wrong, really wrong. I backed up step by step, then turned and ran, stumbling the whole way, straight to the village chief's house. I told him everything, still out of breath. He froze with his cigarette hanging from his lips, then pointed right behind me. "Is that her?" Ice shot down my spine. I turned around, shaking, and there she was, standing right behind me. Silent. Not a sound. I jumped behind the village chief so fast. He looked her up and down. "What village are you from? Sneaking up on a kid in the middle of the night. That ain't right." She just said low and flat, "I'm here for my grandson." After that, no matter what he asked, she just smiled. So the village chief went inside and came back out with 2 eggs. "Take these and get out. Don't come around here scaring people on my turf." She took the eggs, looked at them, and smashed them on the ground. She screamed, pointing straight at me, "He killed my grandson! I will haunt him for the rest of his life." The chief's face went white. He yelled at me to turn on the yard lights, oh so fast. I yanked the cord and the whole front yard lit up. That's when I finally got a clear look. Coiled on the old woman's shoulder was a red venomous snake. Fangs out, eyes locked on me. The chief panicked. He leaned over and whispered, "Kid, my eyes aren't great. Does that old woman have a shadow?" I snapped my head around to look. She was standing stiff as a board and there was no shadow behind her. None. Cold sweat soaked through my back. I couldn't speak. I just nodded. The chief suddenly raised his voice. "Don't be scared, kid. There's an heirloom sword in my room. Go grab it, quick." I ran inside on shaky legs. Tore the whole room apart. No sword. I came back out to say I couldn't find it, and the old woman was already gone. The chief grabbed me, yanked me inside, and slammed the door shut tight. "Kid, there is no sword. I made it up. You've got something unclean following you." Then he turned and switched all the lights off, and quietly asked if I'd messed with anything up in the mountains. I thought about it. I'd never wronged anyone in my life. "Did you ever kill something you shouldn't have?" And right then it hit me. 6 years ago, I killed a white snake to save the fox. I told the chief. His whole body shuddered. "You poor unlucky kid. You don't just go killing things up on that mountain. You're in serious trouble." He said he'd take me to see a shaman in the morning. For tonight, I'd stay at his place. And no matter who called out to me, I was not to answer. Not a word. That night, I kept my mouth shut the entire time. But around 11 p.m., something outside started rustling. Then her crying started drifting in through the walls. I looked out the window. A tall, thin figure was moving around outside. Then she just pressed herself flat against the glass like she was searching for me. I froze. Couldn't move an inch. Then the chief's voice came through the wall. "Cover your head with the blanket." Don't look! I yanked the blanket over my head, heart pounding. But the crying didn't stop. Loud, soft, close, far. It went on past 3 a.m. That's when it finally went quiet outside. But I still didn't dare come out from under that blanket. I don't know how long it took, but eventually I fell asleep. And then came the nightmare. A white snake, hacked apart and bloody. Eyes locked on me, speaking in a human voice. Give me back my life! Give me back my life! I screamed and shot straight up in bed. It was already bright outside. The chief was standing over me, telling me to get up. Time to go see the shaman in the next village. But that same night, the crazy old woman came back, pressed against the window, smiling at me again. The chief went outside with a cleaver. Nothing there. After that, we tried incense, burning paper money, bowing and begging. None of it worked. The scariest part? I woke up one morning lying under a tree deep in the mountains. And that spot, it was exactly where I had killed the white snake. We held out at the chief's place for 3 days. Every trick we had and used up. The chief looked like a complete wreck. I couldn't keep dragging him into this. So on the 4th morning, I ignored his warnings and ran back home. But I didn't expect it right at my front door. The chief came panting up right behind me, shovel in hand. You fool! You think I'm just gonna let you walk into this alone? Today, one way or another, we're ending this. Kid, at this point, I can't keep things from you anymore. He turned and looked at me with this heavy expression. The Willow clan is coming for your life. There's only one way out of this. I nearly jumped out of my skin. The Willow clan? There's no family by that name in this village. I thought maybe he was just messing with me, but he shook his head, dead serious. He told me there are 5 great spirit clans in these mountains. Fox, Weasel, Hedgehog, Willow Serpent, and Gray Rat. That snake you killed back then and the one hunting you now, they're both from the Willow clan.